doing anything. People don't
Folks, if I could call you back to order,
Yes.
I have a quick question for you. So I have a yellow piece of paper here that on top says proposed temporary meeting rules, proposed special rule of order relating to SCC meeting rules. Does everybody have a copy of that? It looks something like this. Okay. Does everyone have a copy of these proposed standing rules? And I'll tell you why I'm asking about that. I know that we have things on our agenda that we need to do, and at present we do not have any provisions to limit time on this. I want people to be able to speak about this. That's where I stand on it, but at the same time we can't go forever on this. So I'd like to see if it would be okay for us to pause on this censure motion.
No.
One second, please. In order for us to, I would recommend that we pass these special rules to allow us to put some reasonable, in my opinion, reasonable and prudent limits on discussion. And I would.
Pardon me, point of information.
Sure. And microphone, name and county, please.
Rebecca Pearson from Jackson County. My understanding is that the person running the meeting cannot speak to motions. So recommending that we adopt these seems out of order.
Perfectly fine question. All I'm asking, I'm not speaking pro or con to the censure motion. I'm merely asking that we essentially put a pause on that for purposes of approving the SCC meeting rules in this yellow piece of paper. I'm recommending it.
So moved.
So point of order.
Excuse me, I'm next.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Don't get the hug mic.
Oh my God, respect the woman, please. Am I recognized?
Yes, ma'am. Name and county, please.
LaRose, Felicity. I'd like to call the question.
Point of order, that's out of order. This is a procedural mic. That is a subsidiary motion.
A motion has been made to call the question.
And I call the point of order, which is also a motion.
And that,
The question is higher.
The point of order is interjectory, Mr. Chair.
okay, so do we have a second on the motion to call the question?
Point of order, Mr. Chair. No, I'm making a point of order, please. My point of order has not been ruled on, Mr. Chair.
We had a motion to call the question before you.
I appeal the ruling of the chair. I appeal the ruling of the chair. The motion to call the question is out of order from the procedural mic. It needs to come from the debate mic. Same reason as the last one.
Jeez. It is procedural.
Okay, thank you for that. In order for consistency, the motion to call the question needs to come from the pro mic, is that correct? From the pro mic, please. I apologize for it. We don't, the standing rules on this yellow piece of paper would address this, and if we could just get through this now as efficiently as possible, we can get to that.
Mr. Chair, apologies. May I be recognized?
Yes, name.
Brian Josephson, Youth Caucus. Point of information, is it normal to send procedural motions that normally arise from a floor that we've designated this mic for to one side, in essence, putting them in a queue far behind where they would normally be, and then limiting their effectiveness and limiting their ability to actually do their job if they have to wait for debate to occur?
I'll answer that directly. I trust the neutrality of our parliamentarian, who I believe has our best interests in mind, to ensure that we have a robust discussion before the will of the majority and to ensure that the minority is heard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And, sorry, are we on to pro or con?
You have a motion on the floor unless you called it out of order. It's not true.
Point of order.
Yes, ma'am. And name and county, please.
Donna Nyberg, Columbia
Lafayette County.
To table the discussion is to lay aside the business at hand in such a manner that it will be considered later in the meeting or at another time. I make a motion to table this discussion until we get more information so we can better discuss the issue.
We don't even know what discussion we want.
At this time, I've asked.
That is from Robert's Rules.
I understand, ma'am. But I accepted the opinion of our parliamentarian, the advice I got at the time.
I would ask for a reconsideration. Or I can get her a copy.
May we please continue from the pro side?
Fair Chaichi, Washington County. Before I get into it, I have been cut off at this mic or any mic at the SCC meetings like 4 times. It doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore, so just so y'all are aware. So a censure, like we've heard, is to discourage this behavior in the future. I read no less than 3 emails naming a member by name, which is not right in Robert's Rules. You should not do that. It makes it personal. This is business. Business is not personal, Sonny, so we shouldn't be doing that. On top of it, there was no press release. I asked the member what happened. He sent it to somebody who released it, not to the press, just posted it. So it wasn't the way that it's been said. And on top of that, the chair saying this kind of stuff and impugning a member's motives gives license to all the other members, like we heard in the beginning, to impugn that other member's character. It is not professional. It is not appropriate. It is wrong. And if you do it to one person, you can do it to anyone. And on top of that, the way the chair's email was written relegates it like this is one crazy person's voice. Instead, that email that was sent out by that member, it echoed voices that are in this room right now. It makes me feel like my opinion was ignored because I'm not that one person that you want to say has a personal vendetta. And this happens to me in my county party all the time. I am relegated to just a foot soldier to white dudes. Knock it off.
One moment, please. Yes, please. Name and count.
Rose, Green County. I do want to appeal the chair's rule.
No, you don't. Give us this.
Explain it, you won't explain it better, please.
We moved to call
You're
the
not
question
expressing
because
an
we've
opinion.
heard from both sides. It's just time for us to take a vote. Censor yes or no, period.
Vote.
Okay, so I'd like to propose something that our parliamentarians recommending. Since we have not accepted these provisions, which would place limits on time and do other things I think are reasonably sensible from a parliamentarian standpoint, without objection, without objection, may I entertain a motion to call the question?
Yes. So moved. So moved.
Okay, if I may ask, all in favor of ending debate?
That motion is not on the table. It's not on the floor. It's out of order.
You can't speak unless you're at a microphone.
Mr. Chair, that's a point of order on the chair making a motion in the middle of the debate on another motion. Keith Paxton, Washington County.
I was just asking to entertain one.
Parliamentary inquiry. If I wanted to appeal the ruling of the chair for the purpose of this microphone, would I use the pro microphone?
Okay, for clarification on that, after further discussion, sorry. Any motion to call the question to end debate to table can come from either side.
How about the
Or,
procedure?
either pro or con. Is that
But
correct?
not this microphone, is that
May
correct?
not come from the middle, is that correct? Because it's... Okay, sorry. I'm not an expert in parliamentary laws, as apparent. We have traditionally allowed it to come from the center microphone. So,
Would that include a motion to table the motion?
yes.
Move to table.
Second.
Move to table.
Second.
Point of order, this motion has already been ruled out of order like 3 times during this debate.
No. No.
Do you want me to explain? It's Key Paxton, Washington County. I can explain why this is out of order.
That's not a point of order.
Yeah, it is actually. You're supposed to explain points of order.
No,
Points
it's
of order.
not.
Briefly explain your rationale.
Basically, there are 2 types of motions. There are subsidiary motions and incidental motions. There's main motions, but who cares about those right now? Subsidiary motions have to come from debate. There are motions to amend, motions to refer, to commit, or whatever. Motions to end debate, they have to come during debate. This is a procedural mic just for introductory motions, like points of order, appeals of the chair is an introductory motion. Points of order and other introductory motions can be said at this. Regular debate motions have to happen at the debate mics.
Okay. Go ahead. It's your turn. Ron?
Okay, just to keep things moving right now, may we have something from the con mic?
I move to table.
Second.
May we have your name and county, please?
Celine Swenson Harris, Lane County.
Second.
Point of order.
Can we get a clarification on that? Is that a motion to table until the next meeting or to table indefinitely?
To table until the next meeting.
Point of order.
Okay, so we have a motion to table until the next meeting.
Second.
He has to take the point of order.
Yes.
I believe that member has already spoken one time to this, on this debate.
I'm going to go ahead and accept that motion. And by the way, this is a debatable question. The move to table until the next meeting. Yes, please. Name and county.
Rebecca Pearson, Jackson County. I appeal the ruling of the chair.
I'm going to decline that ruling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't decline me appealing the ruling of the chair. It goes to the body.
Sorry, could you clarify what you're...
I am appealing your ruling that this suddenly is in order. That the fact that she's spoken already.
She wasn't speaking, okay, she wasn't speaking in debate. She was making a motion to table, which is neither...
That's debated from the mic.
Well, we may now debate that motion.
She spoke twice. Robert's rules say you cannot speak more than twice with the same question in the same day. She spoke twice.
It was not to that question.
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, there is an appeal of the chair's ruling. The chair needs to call for a vote on that appeal, and we also need to be able to debate the appeal.
She's still at the mic. She's still at the
I also would like to ask you to,
What you're appealing.
absolutely, I also would ask you to call the body to order. I heard some side talk about how I should go back to the Republican side. So I ask you to call the body to order.
I think it's important for us, all of us, to be respectful. And please, thank you. One moment, please. So is there debate on the question to postpone or table this motion pertaining to the motion to censure to the next meeting?
Mr. Chair, if this is the question before, then this becomes the pro mic table, and that becomes the con mic. Yep. So people might need to understand.
I'm pretty sure that they're appealing the ruling of the chair, so we have to vote on that first. can withdraw.
1 second.
Those are the choices at hand.
Actually, did you? 1 second, please.
So I appealed the ruling that allowed that motion in order on the fact. Sorry.
Pardon me. I appealed the ruling of the chair on the fact that the motion was in order as the member had already spoken. Twice.
Yeah. She knows it's better than I, so I'll let her parliamentary.
May I answer your question?
Please.
With the permission of the chair, a member can speak to a question in debate and then make a motion which is not part of the debate. So they can come back to the microphone and make a motion as long as they don't debate the main question. Again. Right and
So
said.
that means we're moving on to tabling.
Yes.
I appealed the ruling of the chair. My understanding is that that's not. There's a vote on that.
There needs to be a vote on the appeal. It might lose, but we're taking a lot longer by trying to say that this appeal is not legitimate when it totally is.
Well, that's your